Well, let's get started. Introduction to inheritance. So, what is inheritance? I think from the word you already could guess, right? So, children inherit stuff from their parents, and parents inherit their stuff from grandparents, so on and so forth. So, in terms of classes, we can actually inherit from basically ancestor classes. So and it can be in many levels, but what it is that the descendant class can get whatever ancestors class has, not all of them, but some of them, and then plus some kind of feature that you design that you want your descendants to have. We are going to use this example of a shape class to be our base class or grandparents class, and rectangle will be the parents because there's a grandkid, which is the square class. So if you think about a shape, it can be of any shape, right? And so the only data that a shape has is just area in our example. In rectangle class, because rectangle has four sizes and all the four angles that they made are in 90-degree angles. So we are going to have a length and a width as data for rectangle that's on top of whatever shape has. In square, because the length and the width are exactly the same, so we don't actually need extra member variables. Square has all sides the same length and is going to be the grandkid. As you can see, from shape to rectangle and then to square, is getting more and more specific. So the shape is more generic and square is the most specific. Class hierarchy, because it doesn't have to be like a one-on-one relationship. So shape can also be ellipse, it can also be triangle, it can be there is many choices. We could have even do a ellipse with a circle as ellipse child, but we are not going to do that just because it's for demonstration purpose. Just having these three are sufficient. So where's the limit? How many levels of inheriting can we do? There is actually no limit. The sky is the limit. You can do however many levels you want. Of course, limited to the resources in the computer. But well, I don't know how you hit it, but we'll see. Many names. So you've heard me talk about the base class. We heard me talk about the ancestor class, the parent class, the child, grandkid, and so on. Basically, it's just a way to conceptualize, some class inheriting from another class. So I hope you feel comfortable with how this is talked about, because when you talk to your colleagues, for example, different people will have different languages, and different books also have different languages. Let's look at the grandparents class, the shape class. Like we talked about, we have only one data point, the member variable private, called area. It's just the surface area of a shape. And then in our public members, we have the two constructors, and then we overload a extraction operator. In the parents class right now, you can see how we are making the rectangle class inheriting from the shape class. It's a colon, public, and shape when you declare the class name. Everything else looks exactly like normal. We are adding two member variables, the length and the width. And then we have two constructors. Grandkid class, the square doesn't even have its own private member variables. We just have two constructors there. The details of the constructors we will talk about in the next video. Right now, we are just going to show you that inheritance work and basically just to show you the magic. Our main.cpp, very simple. We are declaring a square, and then we are going to see out a square using the extraction operator. But if you remember, we didn't implement this in the square class. We have implemented this only in the grandparents, the shape class. However, it still output what the shape will say, and even able to calculate the area automatically, and that's the power of inheritance. So this demo basically show you that the popping member functions is inherited, and of course not just one, any of them. It doesn't even have to be a friend function, but in this demo, that's what we showed. Grandkid can replace parents and grandparents, because if you remember the definition, right, this is shape, but you have put a square inside. So how does that work? That's what we are going to talk about soon, but that's basically what it can do. In general, it means that descendants can replace ancestors. So this is the demo. I think it's just going to be very straightforward. I'm just going to run the code because you've seen the code already. And so I'm just going to run it. You see that it works. But basically what I want to do is to give you an opportunity to see this simple class, that you can download this code and play with it. And go back to the slides. So we can recap. We talked about what is inheritance. We talked about how to declare a derived class from a base class using the colon, topic, and then the name of the base class. We also give you a preview of the shape, rectangle, and square classes and inheriting from in this kind of order that we are going to talk about throughout this whole module. Next, we are going to talk about more details about inheritance, how what is being inherited, and the special functions. We'll see you in the next video.